Coming up on This Week Next Week, the Autumn Carnival goes provincial this weekend, and there's no stronger provincial stable than that of Kris Lees. The Newcastle trainer will jump on to chat about some recent winners and what we can expect of the team at Hawkesbury on Saturday.
Hello, I'm Ray Thomas and welcome to This Week Next Week. Corey Brown with me as always. Looking forward to going back to Hawkesbury for the 20th standalone race meeting this weekend. It's amazing how quickly it's gone, but it has been a runaway success, Corey.
It has, the three meetings together, I think it's been a big success. Fingers crossed that the rain stays away, because they're forecasted a lot of rain through the week. So hopefully if we can get there fairly unscathed. Yeah,
let's hope so. Well, because one of the winners from Randwick last Saturday, Punch Lane, the connections are hoping it does continue to rain, because he is an excellent wet tracker. He's entered for the Hawkesbury Gold Cup. We'll look at him in a sec, because, Corey, I'd love to get your thoughts on a couple of his early winners, particularly the 2-year-old Grand Eagle. A last to first swoop in the opener. Gerald Ryan and Sterling Alexo got a promising horse here.
They've got a really good horse on their hands, I think, Ray. Yes, it was set up well. They went out in front fairly quick, which allowed the horses from the back to get home. But when he come off their backs there at about the 100, his acceleration on that going, slow 6, it was pretty impressive. Time was good. Oh, mate, I know he's going to be here for a little while. He's obviously Hong Kong owned. But yeah, I can't wait to see him over the next season or so.
He's a nice horse, and I thought the runner-up, Acacia, went really well off her Kembla win. She was excellent. Coming off a Kembla win as well was Sunrise. She broke the track record that day. Here she is in soft ground. They couldn't get near her. She's so fast.
She was really good, Ray, and I was interested to hear Rachel. They said that the horse had been struggling to harness her sort of speed. She really runs through the bridle, but she was a fraction slow away, and Rachel was a little bit reluctant to give her a good squeeze, but even when she got there, she come back underneath Rachel. But I was super impressed with the turn of foot from the 200 home. She was, she was like she was on top of the ground.
Talented filly. Talking to Mitchell Beer on Sydney Radio yesterday, thinking the Denise's Joy Stakes, it's going for her.
Right up her alley.
Fair enough, yeah. Well, Matt Laurie, he can train a winner in Sydney. We were talking about it on Saturday. Miss Icelandic, terrific ride this, and I think it's his 4th consecutive winner from as many starters.
He's going great guns. I wouldn't be surprised if he got a little bit of a satellite stable going up here. I know he hasn't got a lot of horses, but terrific ride there by Chad Schofield. Obviously drew soft and he just followed the lead, but took his time coming out. Took a little while to get to the front, but she was pretty strong through the line. She looked great in the yard, and I think she's got a really good race up her sleeve somewhere.
Yeah, so well balanced, Chad Schofield.
Yeah, he's a terrific rider. He's got great hands.
He certainly has. On then to Punch Lane now, trained by Anthony and Sam Freeman. They have opened up a Sydney satellite stable, and this horse is a talented horse, particularly when he gets his toe in the ground. He was dominant on Saturday, and he has been nominated for the Hawkesbury Cup.
Well, I give Nash first race of the day, ride and win of the day, but then when this race came about, super ride. He obviously hovered along out on the outside fence because he drew awkward, but then slingshotted off the turn to come in towards the fence. But then the kick that this horse had, again, on that sort of ground, he was explosive. And if he goes to Hawkesbury, he'll be super competitive.
Yeah, and great to see those colours back in Sydney racing as well. Santa Ana Lane, Paris Lane, way back to Gurner's Lane. But Anthony and Sam Freeman will be a force to be reckoned with in Sydney racing. And what did Nash Willis say to you after the race?
I said, did you ride to instructions there? And he said, well, there's no good two of us pulling, because he wasn't meant to lead. So that's why he hovered around on the outside fence, so he wasn't eyeballing the other runners to get the horse keen. Yeah. But once he knew that he was never going to settle the horse, he just let it run to the inside fence and just led as he liked. So it was definitely the winning move, no good wrestling. So, yeah, great ride by there, Nash.
It was a spectacular ride. Yeah. He does it so often. On to the last race, and the Country Championships form certainly held up. Know Thyself again gets the better of Fukubana. Both outstanding horses in great form. Know Thyself maybe on the borderline of a Scone Cup start.
Yeah, look, if he does get a run, Ray, obviously he's going to have a lightweight. He's going to be very competitive. He does make the field. He's just a tradesman-like type of horse, this. He doesn't win in brilliant fashion, but he just gets the job done. Great for Aaron Bullock, winner again in Sydney. But I reckon this horse has got plenty of upside. He's still a little bit, I'm going to say, dopey when he walks around the enclosure. He's not the finished product yet. They're going to have a lot of fun with him, I know that.
When he switches on, he does find the line, Here's the Quokka. Overpass was going for 3 in a row, but a local horse called Joker's Grin had something to say about this.
Yeah, there was a bit of talk about this. Us boys were talking about it on Saturday before the race was run, and there was some form student that actually said that the horse has got the strongest finish out of any other horse over there in the West, and it just showed there on the weekend. He reeled off some really good sectionals, so it was good to see for Paddy Carberry as well.
Exactly. Head wall right on the line. Head wall's had 3 successive placings at the elite level. Sure, he's a big race winning him, but well done to Joker's Grin. Group 1 racing in Adelaide on Saturday, Australasian Oaks, and well, Benegill made the treasure of the moment form look pretty good.
Yeah, gee, this bloke can ride, Mark Zara.
He can.
He's another one. He's just so well balanced, and you know he just gets the job done. But good to see Glenn Thompson getting his first Group 1 winner there. Obviously, it was with Mike Moroney. Mike's passing, and he becomes sole trainer. But just good to see him get a Group 1 win on the board.
You mentioned Mark Zari, backed up in the very next race to make it successive Group 1s on this time on Charmstone in the Robert Sangster Stakes.
Yeah, Robert Sangster Stakes. Just another great ride. He obviously had a lot of confidence in the horse. He was back near the tail of the field, just let it blend in at the top of the straight. Not going to say won as he liked, but it was a very confident ride there by Mark Zara.
Exactly. Let's go to Hong Kong. And Corey, well, words fail me about Ka Ying Rising. We watch him every time, and he just does the freakish things every single time.
He's a super freak. Like the way this horse is winning, the horses that he's beating, I can't wait to see him get over here to Australia. Not that there's different conditions, but like there was no need for Zach to sort of ride him all the way to the line. But I was just super impressed there on the weekend.
He's down inside the final 100. Still ran 1 minute 7.88 under a hold.
Freakish.
Yeah, he's
it
quite
is.
a
It's
horse.
freakish. You know, to think if he, in the way that he was ridden there on the weekend, Zach obviously had him a pair further back than he normally does. But you know, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot more speed on to see him come from another pair further back. And chase. Like I'd love to see him chase.
So well there.
I'd love to see him chase for a lot longer and see how really good he is.
Exactly. Here's the Champions Mile. The 2 Australians, Royal Patronage and Mr Brightside, weren't at their best, but a couple of Australians fought the finish out. We can sort of claim James McDonald, but Huey Bowman we certainly can. Upset win here on Red Line, beating Voyage Bubble.
This is a great ride because he wasn't instructed to lead. Obviously there was lots of speed up underneath him, so Huey jumped well and elected to go forward, take the race by control, and again it was just a really, really good ride. Although it was the barest of margins, there's only bob of the head between him and J-Mac. Yeah, that was a really good ride.
Well, Corey, our next guest, of course, had a terrific day on Saturday. He's had a great season. Trainer Kris Lees won with Memorial, and he's been good enough to join us on This Week, Next Week. Kris, good evening.
Good evening, Ray.
Thanks for joining us, Kris, and well, congratulations with Memoria. She was really good on Saturday, and a deserved win for a mare who's been racing so consistently.
Yeah, she's had a really good preparation. Been racing at Canterbury mainly on them night meetings, but racing really consistent. She makes her own luck. She's got good gate speed, puts herself up in the first 3 and makes her own luck from there.
Kris, we know that she's not really that big, but it's exaggerated when Benny Osmond gets on her. He could treat it like a scooter. He could get 1 foot out of the iron and give her a bit of a push along. He's that tall.
Yeah, he might have that last furlong. He does. But he rated her really well, Corey, as you said after the race. She showed good intent early, and sort of a couple others might have kicked up underneath, but he was able to get across and control the race well, and she showed a good turn of foot at the top of the lane.
Where will you go with the next, Kris?
Keep everything open, Ray. She does love a bit of soft ground. Some stage we'll try her in Stakes Company, whether it's next start. We'll probably look at a takeover target, but I think it'll come up a bit strong. There's some options in Queensland that we'll consider as well.
How big's your team in Queensland, Chrissy?
Oh, we've always got a presence there, Corey, with a stable up there. So from a stakes or feature race point of view, there's probably 5 or 6 that'll head up there at some stage. Infancy, and I've got a couple of 2-year-olds that could get there, and we'll probably aim Yuwang towards the Oaks.
Okay. Hey, Kris, a stay I was interested in ran a really good race first up on Saturday called Zafod, and an imported horse. He's had a couple of preps for you now. He looks to have come back really well, really solid second there on Saturday. He'll build off that.
Yeah, just couldn't pick up the leader there. He put himself into contention at the furlong, being first up. He just levelled out a touch late. That said, I think he's in for a nice preparation. We'll space his next run, probably won't be for 4 weeks, but he loves soft ground. That was the reason we put him away for this time of year, and I think he'll have a good winter.
Chrissy, these style of horses, like first up over 1800, how do you change your sort of training methods to suit? Like, 'cause I mean, it's a thing of the old, learning off your father how to, you know, train horses, and this isn't really a natural way for you guys to train. How do you differ it?
Well, I think the horses have taught us that. You know, I think over time, often with these European horses too, that you can waste runs early in their preparation trying to get him there. I think they come with a real natural aerobic capacity that they can handle these type of trips first time out, and they're more seasoned and accustomed to that type of trip. Although this horse only come with a few runs under his belt, but we found he sprinted his first start in Australia at 1700 and let down really well and won that day. And, you know, if they're that type of horse, you do get some horses that react well over the shorter trip first time out, and you can capitalise that because we race for such good prize money. We just found that he's a horse that's best suited around his natural distance from his first up run.
Yeah, he was very good there, running second to Le Vampire. Chris, before we get to your Hawkesbury standalone runners, I was going to ask you about a winner that you had last week called Hawker Hall. He'd been trialling brilliantly and ran right up to those trials at Newcastle first up.
Yeah, he's a horse that's still very raw. That's why we want to keep him at home, and even in this run, it probably would have been better to roll off the fence and find the better ground. But Jason said he was comfortable where he was and he didn't want to change too much with him. And he put him away pretty well. He was probably on empty late, testing ground, and he'd done it, you know, although he wasn't aggressive early, he certainly was running along at a good tempo. So big, heavy horse, he'll take good improvement out of the win. He'll have a nice future.
Yeah, you sort of took the words out of my mouth as well, Chrissy. I was going to say, he doesn't look really high, but he looks thick like a German tank.
Yeah, there's plenty of him. So he'll get good benefit out of the race day experience.
Yeah, well, Hawkesbury this Saturday, the standalone, mean the 20th anniversary, Chris, and you're taking a really good team to Hawkesbury, including Tavi Time for the Cup, and he was excellent first up, running second to Sandpaper.
Yeah, really good run. Mac thought he was just at his top a long way out, chasing a pretty good tempo. Just thought for a couple of strides he was going to claim the winner, but he possibly just levelled out a touch late, as I said, being at his top, and nothing took him into the straight. You see, he had to curl off and do it himself. He'll take good benefit out of that run. Suited now at a mile. Very competitive race, having a quick look at the nominations, but he's a very consistent horse who'll make his presence felt.
He's a funny type of horse, isn't he, Chrissy? Like, even in the enclosure, like, his manners have gotten a lot better than what they used to be, but he's a weird type of horse, isn't he? Shape-wise as well as, like, his demeanour.
Yeah, he's a narrow type of horse. Can do a few little things wrong in the races for a horse that's had 19 starts or so, but he's still got plenty of upside, and I think once he puts it together, and to be fair to the horse, he rushed through his grades pretty quick, which, of course, you know, his benchmark went up and he had to carry that weight throughout. So he's raced at a pretty good level now the last 12 months.
Yeah, he's a talented horse. He'll be hard to beat in the Cup. In the Hawkesbury rush, you've got Brudenell, who's had a little freshen up, but we know he's an accomplished sprinter, and Bubba's Bay, who had an outstanding summer campaign, and her 2 trials recently suggest that she's back in a big way, Chris.
Yeah, she looks to have come back really well. Admittedly, all the best forms went based around about Queensland stable, to be fair, but and she will get back there probably off the back of this run. But she's a mare who can race really well fresh, and she'll train on. She's a really tough, uncomplicated mare. So looking forward to getting her back to the track. And Brudenell's a month between runs. Just had this little tick over trial last week. You'll relish the likely soft ground, and both will run well.
Chrissy, what about the team going to Brisbane? Is it a big team, or are you just being a little bit selective this year?
More selective, Corey. You know, there's good prize money offered down here, so if they're not going to compete in their better races this time of year, they're better off here, I feel. And again, it comes down to track conditions. It's a very easy to change between our 2 stables, being Newcastle or the Gold Coast. Is about an 8-hour float trip, so we'll switch it around wherever it's that we see fit to run them.
Yeah.
What about a filly called Love Poem, Chris? She's just joined your stable. In New Zealand earlier this season, she ran second behind the boys in the Group 1 2,000 guineas, so she's obviously got loads of ability. What's your assessment of her going into the Hawkesbury Crown on Saturday?
Really nice filly, turned up in tremendous order. Just had a tick-over trial last week, and I thought she trialled well. She loved that ground that she found at Wyong the other day, so the likelihood of getting similar conditions on Saturday. She didn't do a great deal that first Australian run, but they can just take that little bit to settle in. And if she runs to some of these previous runs she's showing here, she'd certainly put her right in a race like Saturday's race.
Yeah, well, she's running second here to the boys, as I said, in the 2,000 guineas. She ran fourth in the 1,000 guineas, so obviously she has got lots of ability. And those colours, Corey, they're pretty familiar for the Kris Lees stable, Lucia Valentina.
Yeah.
Exactly. Kris, what about your 2-year-old who got entered for the Clarendon Stakes called Damien? I thought he was really good first up at Newcastle, winning with authority. He looks to be a promising horse going places.
Yeah, really nice colt. He showed a bit from day one. We took him to Sydney for a trial. Trialled nicely that day and was narrowly beaten on debut at Wyong. A little break, and I'm really pleased with how he's come back. He took him away nicely. I don't know how much depth was in that Newcastle race, but this Hawkesbury race traditionally throws up a nice horse, so he'll have to be at his best, but I feel he'll be competitive there.
Do you set trends or follow them? Naming the horse Damien, we see the horse there named Beeban on the weekend, so are you setting the trend or following it, mate?
I don't know that it's named after Ollie. By Hellbent, I think there could be some connotation there, but Ollie texted me when he sent it in, so he must have thought it was named after him.
Oh, he'd be wanting a percentage of name rights, I'm sure.
That's it, though.
Just go with that, Kris. Just say it is named after him. At least he'll follow it. And Kris, in the Hawkesbury Crown,
if he keeps winning, we will.
Yeah, exactly. In the Hawkesbury Crown, Impersant's having a great peer pressure, also nominated. Will you run both mares?
They're in the 88. More likely to both run in the benchmark race, I'd suggest. Both handle the ground, and Impersant's found some nice form coming through the provincial championship, and peer pressure will love soft ground, so she's in for a good preparation.
Kris, I know we're all getting older, but can you believe it's 20 years for the Hawkesbury standalone this Saturday?
No, amazing. No, it's been well received. It's a great initiative having the 3 meetings in a row. I think it works really well, and each community gets behind it so well. I think it's been well received.
Yeah, certainly has. Hawkesbury, of course, leads off. Then we go to Gosford for the Coast meeting on May 10, then Scone, of course, for the big 2-day carnival, May 16 and May 17. Kris, congratulations again for the stable success this season. I hope it continues. Big team for Hawkesbury this weekend. Very best of luck, and thanks for joining us on This Week Next Week.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you.
Good on you, mate.
There's Kris Lees, champion Newcastle trainer, champion bloke, and it's good to see him have some terrific results. Good young team coming through.
He has, and 2-year-olds and all over the board, really. He's going well. He's going great guns.
Exactly. One of the features this weekend is the Hawkesbury Crown, and Peter Snowden has already won this race 7 times, including with Coco Jambu last year, and she's back to defend her title on Saturday.
In the straight and short shorts with a kick, 2 lengths in front of Wallinga Beast. Coco Jambu weaving through. Shadows of Love trying to pick up. She's starting to rev up down the outside. 150 out, short shorts. Coco Jambu, Shadows of Love, short shorts needing the post. Coco Jambu lunging. Oh, photo. Coco Jambu diving.
Singing everybody. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Coco Jambu, yeah, yeah, yeah. Put me up, put me down.
Early in the straight, Schwartz about to be popped the question. General Salute running a race, so's Bojangles. Snowman's down the outside, then Butch Cassidy, but Schwartz is kicking. He's still in front, 100 to go. Bojangles, Snowman trying to get him, but Schwartz is responding, and he's going to go all of the way.
And welcome back to the show. That was Schwartz winning the Hawkesbury Guineas last year, and of course he trained on to win the Group 1 William Reid Stakes this season and is heading towards the Doomben 10,000. A lot of quality lining up this Saturday at Hawkesbury. 212 nominations, but our man Tim Ryan's waded through them all and got all the latest betting. Tim, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Ray. Definitely kept me busy this morning getting through those nominations. We have 4 markets up for Hawkesbury. Heavy 8. We start the week. Forecast not great, so doubt we'll see too much better than that. Already a firm in the Hawkesbury Gold Cup for Kris Lees galloper Tavi Time. It's been 450 into 350. Matchalade a 450 chance. And Punch Lane, will we see him 3 weeks in a row? He is a $6 chance. Osipenko, an eye catcher in the all-age stakes, one to keep an eye out for there. Snitson over, I marked the filly, favourite in the Hawkesbury Guineas, 450 chance in front of Emirate and Just Party. Those top 3 gallopers all look to resume there on Saturday. A little bit of early money for Kendall with 26 into 15. I think Belclair's really well placed. Set weights and penalties. Hawkesbury Crown, she's a 350 favourite there. $6 Lady Laguna, and last year's winner Coco Jambu, an $8 chance. Moving on then to the Hawkesbury Gold Rush. Coleman, also nominated for Queensland, maybe heads there, so just be a little bit careful with him. Dragonstone, equal favourite there, 450. He was good last time out. In front of Kris Lees pair there, Bubba's Bay, 6, and Brudenell, $8 chances. The Group 1 South Australian Derby, this will go final field tomorrow. Statuario, best back runner there. It's been 6 into 350 in the last week. American Wolf seen some support. The Ledger winner as a $7 chance. And Saint Emilion caught a few punters' eyes on Saturday. It's an $11 chance there. Tab Everest update, Wilcahiing rising. He's into even money. The liability keeps growing. We're getting closer to the race now, 6 months out, so I've had to firm him up. Now an even money chance in front of Private Harry, $6, and a Briasa, an $8 chance.
Tim, if he arrives here safe and sound, Kahying Rising, gets a decent track for the Everest, what price will he start?
Yeah, well, he'll definitely be the shortest price we've ever had in a Tab Everest. Nature Strip started at $1.90. Look, he could be $1.30. Who knows? Wow. With the Whirlpool in operation, he might be $1.10, $1.20 there. So he's going to be very, very short. But a horse to take on this Saturday. I've already taken on Kahying Rising plenty in futures betting for the Everest. But this Saturday, Tavi Time, no doubting his class. He doesn't win out of turn, so 350. I'm happy to lay him at the short odds.
Thanks so much there to Tim Ryan. Well, Hawkesbury Standalone this weekend, but plenty happening in the lead up to the Hawkesbury Standalone. We're racing at Narromine and Corindai on Tuesday. Warwick Farm Barrier Trials, we'll see Private Eye amongst those who are trying also militarised there. They're both heading, of course, towards Brisbane. Wednesday, we're racing at Canterbury. That Ballina meeting put back to Wednesday. Thursday, the Wagga Cup Carnival starts. We're also racing at Wyong on Friday. It is Wagga Cup Day. Races at Muswellbrook. 2 Hawkesbury on Saturday for the standalone meeting. The provincial meeting is at Newcastle, and on Sunday we're racing at Dubbo and the Sapphire Coast. Corey, what are you looking forward to this Saturday at Hawkesbury?
Well, I got him last week, Ray, in the quokka, so I reckon I'll get him again this week with Tavi Time.
Yeah, Kris Lees gave a nice little push for him, didn't he?
Sure.
Yeah, he'll be hard to beat in the Hawkesbury Gold Cup. For me, I think Emirate from the Chris Wallace stable, one to watch in the Hawkesbury Guineas. On behalf of Corey Brown and I, thanks for watching this week. Next week, we'll see you next Monday.